Old friends are like old memories. They always remind you of your past, and we are reminding ourselves of the past episodes from this week of Good Company for the Best of Good Company with me, Hollie Taylor. I'm Hollie Taylor, and I've been at the edge of my seat because I am so curious as to how everyone's Christmas and New Year's went. I really love to hear all the stories. We spent ours at home. My youngest got the stomach flu on Christmas Eve. That was a disaster. So we had a really chill, past week and a bit. Producer Mike, I know you had a chance to hang out with family. How was your time?
It was good. My aunt and I had a little Christmas dinner. Nice. We usually do takeout. This time we actually did a proper turkey dinner with vegetables and everything.
Moving on up.
Yeah, and then my sister came by a few days later. She's a nurse, so she had to work Christmas.
Shoot.
But it was good to see her a few days later. Yeah.
Okay, what was your highlight?
Okay, this might sound kind of like commercialistic or something, but it was the gift I got from my sister.
That's not commercialistic.
No, okay.
That's
it's
fine.
just not the reason for the season,
Jesus was our gift. That's why we exchange gifts. So what did she get you?
She got me a sign for my, I'm building a little studio in my apartment.
Yeah.
She got me a sign that says Mike Blair Studios.
Aww.
Yeah, and it's bright red. It looks like one of those old neon signs. It's
so
just really cool.
sweet.
Yeah. I feel like she won Christmas this year.
Yeah. Well, you got her something that she would like, though, right?
I did. I got her, it's like a little hydroponic station for small plants.
Okay.
I think it comes with basil.
Yeah.
And you can put like little strawberries in it or something like that as well. So hopefully she likes it. I think
I'm
she
sure
liked
she
it.
did. Yeah.
I was just more enamored with my gift while she was opening hers. But maybe that was it. I didn't see the reaction.
Well, I saw my husband's reaction.
Oh, no. What happened?
He likes to work out in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
He likes to in the garage. That's where the gym's located. And he also likes to organize and just be in the garage. And so we don't have a heated garage anymore. I know, first world problems. So I found like a really expensive heater for your garage. It was on sale for like $30.
Nice.
And I went shopping with my brother-in-law, and he's like, man, Phil will love this. And so he got one for himself, and he loves it. So I was so jazz hands about this gift because I knew it had, there was a need for it. And it was like sleek. It's like it's high tech. Like it's a nice heater. And he opened it and he was like, oh.
Oh, no.
And he's like, I'm not as excited about the gift as you are to give it to me, but I think I'll get more excited once I use it. And so already now he's been able to work out and it's not been cold. So I think it's growing on him.
It just takes a while to warm up on him, you see? There
I see what you did there. But how to? That's what I've written here on my notes because I've been thinking a lot about how to achieve some of the quote-unquote resolutions. I know for some, you got to frame it as a goal. So I've been doing a little reading, and apparently resolutions and goals really do go hand in hand. We were sitting around our table thinking about how we can attack the nutrients part of our life because my kids are here, there, and everywhere. They're in dance. They need to eat well, but sometimes we don't have time to prepare a meal that's going to give them the nutrients they need and what we need as aging adults. So that's our focus as a family is how can we not waste food, save money, so we're not just buying whatever, and really being intentional about the foods we are using to fuel our body. And so I was like, okay, no fast food for January. And my kids look at me because they know I'm going to be the biggest culprit. Like I love my drive-through coffees. Which would mean I couldn't do it. It's a fast food location. So we decided that it will be our goal, not a quick resolution. It's something that we want to change moving forward. So our goal this time next year is to be much further along in this journey of being better with our nutrients. So goals, resolutions, which ones are you setting this year? Are you starting cold turkey? That's always hard. Or are you going to work towards it? Give yourself 12 months to get there. 905-338-1250. I'm Hollie Taylor. We're talking about whether you're setting goals or making resolutions. Linda says, a resolution. It is my resolve this year to pause and make space for rest. Love that. That's a really awesome thing to focus in on, especially as life gets hustly and bustly. So how are you going to get there? I'm curious. Do you have a game plan? What is it? I'll take tips. Goals versus resolutions. What are you setting? A quick message here from Mike. He says he has a goal. He wants to read a book a month. It's been a long time since he's done that. That's a good goal. You got some time to work on it. And hey, as long as you're working towards something, I think that's half the battle. 2025, whether we want it or not, it has begun. So here we are, and maybe you've got some travels in your near future. I know a lot of people who were able to go somewhere this Christmas break. We stayed close to home. Again, we had weird bugs going through our family, so... but we did get a chance to go to Blue Mountain, so that was nice until it started to rain. Felt a little bit more like spring. It's kind of weird. But I always feel the most Canadian when I travel abroad. There's just something about our Canadianisms that come out in full force when we go somewhere that's different. It even can be the U.S. I feel super Canadian when I travel south of the border. So I wanted to take a look at some of those things that just make us uniquely Canadian, because there are things. So think about it. You can text in 905-338-1250. What are some of the Canadianisms that we have? The one that comes right into the top of my head is measuring distance in time. Especially growing up in Alberta. Oh, how far is Edmonton to Calgary? 2.5 to 3 hours, depending how fast you drive. So, I don't know, is that a thing here? Or is everything just an hour? Hollie Taylor here, and we are talking about some of those things that make us Canadian. And sometimes we don't even realize that we do it. I think when you're in our country and we see all different kinds of cultures coming in, we think we don't have a culture. But that's the same reason when you are talking with your friends and you say, oh, we don't have an accent here in Canada. We're very boring. Then you go to the UK and they're like, oh, Canadian, I can tell by your accent. I feel so exotic. I love it. So what are some things that make us Canadian? Text message here. This is from Amy. She says, I say washroom, but my friends in the South say restroom. Yeah, I guess that's one. Yeah, I never thought of that one. I hit this one. Milk and bags. It's a very Eastern Canadian thing, but it's also a Canadian thing. And I actually went to someone's house on the 1st of January and they had bagged milk. I did not grow up with bagged milk. And so I said, for the sake of your floors and counter, could you please pour this for me? Haven't mastered the art yet, my friends. I got to practice. Maybe that should be a 2025 goal. Producer Mike is across the table laughing at me.
Yeah, I also laughing at the way you said milk. Is that another Canadian one? I think that's just a Hollieism.
I think it's a Hollieism, or maybe because my mom says I say milk differently.
You do. I have it on tape.
Yeah. Sorry, milk.
There you go.
I blame my tongue tie that I had. Excuses, right? Well, Producer Producer Mike, what are some Canadianisms that you know of?
So this is another one that I just, it's a stereotype that Canadians say a boot instead of about.
Yeah.
It is true. We do say a boot.
No.
I have heard it. I've spent enough time recording people in my profession.
Yeah.
I have heard it plenty of times. There was a radio host we used to have here at Joy Radio who would say it constantly, and I'd have to go back and say, hey, really? We can't. Any American listeners are going to be making fun of us for that. Yeah. It's not quite as pronounced as a boot, but we do shorten the OU sound in a few words.
That's fair.
Yeah.
The other one I noticed, because we have a sister station, and it is a multicultural station, a lot of them don't say bye when we talk to them. They just hang up the phone. That's, different cultures. So feel free to add to the list. 905-338-1250. Want to tackle a little communication, since I'm in that communication industry. And it's funny, I feel like English is just hard. It's a difficult language, and I don't even get it right. The amount of mistakes I make, honestly, bless Producer Mike. For recording any of our additional spots, he's just like, Hollie, maybe try this.
I bring a copy of the script just to make sure that dyslexia hasn't taken over yet.
Exactly. What are you trying to say? But I have for you 4 tips. If you are trying to focus in on communication in 2025, here are some things to keep in mind that the expert super communicators do. They know what kind of conversation they're having. That's a key one. So is it a practical conversation? Is it an emotional conversation? Social. This will determine what information you communicate and how you communicate said information. Make sense? Because you're going to speak differently at work than you will with your friends or even with your family. So they prove they are listening. So that's making eye contact, nodding your head, just letting someone know that you're hearing their words, that you are engaged. Also, they ask the right questions and a lot of the right questions. And these are questions that help further not only the conversation, but the clarification of the message that communicator is trying to understand. And then they aim to understand, hence the questions. So 4 things if you want to be a super communicator in 2025 to adopt into your conversations. Well, that's a wrap. Those are our favorite memories from this past week. Join me for more Good Company live every weekday from 4:30 till 6 p.m. here on Joy Radio. Oh, and don't forget, you can also catch up by subscribing to our Joy Radio podcast. If you'd like to join in on the conversation, text 905-338-1250. Thanks for listening. We'll see you on Monday.